can't see a thing.
Go on, Rita, baby. Now that sounds really groovy. I tell you what, let's sing. Well, it's nice to see Brick safe and sound. After all he's been around, and in my view he should be crowned the King of Limbo. Well, he's had his ups and he's had his downs. He's had his smiles and he's had his frowns. But I still say he should be crowned the King of Limbo.
What more can a poor boy do? Working for the likes of me and you. What more can a poor boy say? But I could use your help in any way. He took his courage to the brink. If it were me, I would turn to drink. Well, that's the reason I think he should be the King of Limbo.
Yeah, he had to face enough sins, but at least he kept his leggy limbs. I think that we should be crowning him the King of Limbo. Take it away, Rita, baby. That's cool.
What more can a poor boy do? Working for the likes of me and you. What more can a poor boy say? But I could use your help in any way. We've all had fun, you must agree. Even though interactively, but now we feel that Brick should be the King of Limbo. I do ups, I do-be-do ups, I do ups, I do-be-do ups, I do ups, I do-be-do ups, the King of Limbo. I do ups, I do-be-do ups, I do ups, I do-be-do ups, I do ups, I do-be-do ups, King of Limbo.
Alright, let's get this over with, because I just don't want to have all these bags of shit over here on my desk for the whole time, because it didn't let me, I didn't have time to set up my stream deck, and last night I just wasn't feeling good, so I was just like, you know what, I am definitely not accomplishing shit today. So, do I have everything set up? I think the camera is a little messed up now. It's kind of whatever, not really much I could do about that. But yeah, this is about where we are so far. We don't have the back, right? I think the back is like the one thing left that we really have to do. And then obviously the head, and then that'll be it, right? So it actually kind of leans forward because there's nothing to weigh it down and prevent it from leaning back, like Fat Joe. Oh, I stumbled onto that one. That was a good one. Holy shit. Okay, let me do this. Like Fat Joe. Oh man. Okay. I will be needing this first. And this time we will not be randomly dropping fucking pieces. I never figured out where that 2x1 was supposed to go. I guess I just never will. I don't know. I could look through it at the very end and see if I could find it. But it doesn't seem to have affected much, so I just kind of said whatever. You never know, right? It's probably some random small little thing. I was probably laughing or something and I missed. So, oh well, them's life. Next week we'll do the Star Destroyer. I'm not going to do it this week. I'm not even going to do it today because today I actually want to record and maybe play some fucking games or something. You know how it is. There's a lot in the gaming world going on, so that's exciting. Usually when you get to the fall, stuff actually starts to happen because people want to move product. And nothing gets people in the tizzy faster than needing to move product, am I right? Just ask any drug dealer. So, let's do this and be done, I guess. Absolute insanity between the Bayonetta lady, fucking Gotham Knights being locked at 30 FPS. There's a lot of shit going on, man. It's kind of silly. And actually, that's something I want to talk about on the podcast today, so maybe I'll do that right after this. I want to talk about the Gotham Knights thing, because the guy actually, one of the, I guess, animators or someone on the game made a tweet, and I linked it in my Discord, and I was like, yeah, this is what they think of you, because he's like, oh, well, actually, $60 in 2000 would be $93 today, so you guys should be paying us what we owe, and it's like, all right, bro, like, first of all, do you really think your product is worth $93 fucking dollars by 2022 standards? Like, think about, like, that's what I mean. Like, the standards in 2000, right, were vastly different compared to the standards in 2022. This is, I knew game developers thought like this, right? Like you got a little bit of a slip of that with, what's it called? The guy who, the Apex dude, right? Where he's like, oh, well, people can't complain because, like, we made a free product, so you didn't even pay us anyway, so fuck you. He didn't actually literally say that, but it's kind of what I've always surmised, that that's how they feel about you, you know? They want you to say, well, I don't care if this product is inferior, you know, these dudes put in the work, and therefore I should just buy it. And I mean, like, it's cool to support someone you think has done and made a quality product. Like, I'm not going to sit here and tell you not to support fucking Arkham Knights or whatever, you know, like, because people like Batman. People will enjoy it regardless. It's going to be one of those games. It'll have a little bit of an existence. It'll have a little bit of a multiplayer mode. And then that'll be it. And, you know, and then I think realistically after that, it'll probably disappear. But, you know, I don't think it'll be a Back for Blood. I just think it'll be a game people are, like, reasonably interested in for a month or two. And then once that month or two is over, they'll probably move on and be like, all right, well, whatever, right? Like, but that's fine, because that's how most games exist, right? Like, they're around for a little bit and then they're not, right? Like, and there's nothing at all wrong with that, right? Not everybody makes a game that lasts like 20 fucking years, right? Like, how many more World of Warcrafts do you even have? You know, despite all this shit about Blizzard and fucking WoW, just in general, like, it's still around. And I'm not gonna lie, WoW Classic is fun as fuck, dude. Some of the changes they made are fire, which, I mean, ironically means that it's not really truly WoW Classic, but good enough for me, right? Yeah, grinding for hours to get your mount. Maybe that was cool in 2004 and 2005 or whatever. In 2022, it's not that cool, which is why I'm glad they simplified that, right? Like, sometimes, like, you make sacrifices for various reasons, right? So, like, they sacrifice the whole grind, like, hours for your mount, right? To make it so people actually get their shit and, you know, they don't walk everywhere. Because it was maybe cooler back then, right, to walk around this big open world and see all the different places and things, interacting and whatnot. But in 2022, like, that magic is just not there anymore. And I just don't think making people walk everywhere is, like, that great, right? Like, you want people to take in the sights on a game when they play it, right? Because then once you get flying, you basically never really do that, right? Like, most people will just fly A to B and dodge everything from A to B, you know? Like, it's different once you get flying in a game. Once you get flying, it's kind of like, well, who cares what's on the ground? That's why I don't mind a little bit of it, right? I think 14 strikes a good balance between flying and accessibility, because you have to do each area, then do a couple side missions, and then actually explore the area, and then you get flying for life, and that's it. You never have to do it again. And I think that that's a completely fair way to have that system. It's a balance between, never actually exploring the area again, and, you know, being able to get flying relatively easily. And it ties into the story, right? Like, you get multiple systems being brought into play here, you know? Because I think 14's big strength is that the story, while unavoidable, is definitely a key element of its success, right? Like, people get tied into the story. They like certain aspects. They like certain characters. It's just that the MMO genre, I don't know what it is. It's like a lot of people just don't like the story of MMOs. Like, they just, I think they see it like as what I would consider to be like a math problem, right? Like a math problem that is just something you solve. You know, you just go A to B, you do stuff, and that's it. And I just like that. Unlike WoW, 14 is a math problem, right? Like, or it's more than just the math problem, is what I mean to say. Like, you actually have to go places and do stuff, and you know, like, because in WoW, does it matter? Like, do you even remember, like, a quest giver from an area you did, like, several years ago, you know, in vanilla or whatever? Like, no, you don't. Of course not. Why would you? Whereas in 14, like, I don't remember every single quest line, but I do remember a good majority of them, right? Like, I do remember a lot of the things I had to do in some of the earlier areas, you know, Heaven's Word. I remember the general plot arc of, like, every area. Whereas in WoW, they didn't really have that until Kata, and even then, it's like, do you really care? Do you even remember any of these people's names? You know? Like, some of the minor details obviously will just be forgotten, but that's a lot of games, right? That's why when I play some of these old games again, I'm like, wow, this was actually, you know, this was like this. Yeah, you forget things. That's fine. But I think you retain a lot more in 14 because of how memorable some of the cutscenes are and how, like, tied to the story so many elements of it are, which I think is a really big strength of the game. The fuck? Okay, here we go. It's a really big positive of the game, in my opinion, to have integration like that. And that's why I feel sad when people, like, skip cutscenes and stuff, and then later on... See, like, my thing is that you could skip cutscenes, right? But then later on, don't say that you don't know what's going on, right? You made that choice. And, like, I know 14 lets you rewatch cutscenes, but it's not the same, you know what I mean? Like, the whole point of it is to experience it live, you know, is to get in there, you know, to really, really tee it up, you know what I mean? That's what I like about that game so much. Oh, hold on, I didn't put these pieces in. That's what I like about that game so much, is that, like, having that meaningful story made a world of a difference in my experience of 14. Having each area feel like a meaningful portion. And, like, yeah, I know they're trying their best to, you know, disrupt the whole Raubon's wall thing, so they're, you know, they're trying not to hit that spike so soon. They got a lot on their plate, man. And you know what? I've been satisfied with the story for a while now. You know, like, a lot of people always cite Stormblood as a weak part. I like it for the world building. I think that Stormblood was good for the world building. Nothing wrong with it. I like that. You know, and you're still the main focal character. You know, you got Hien, you got other people. I enjoy stories like that a lot. Now, obviously, if I had to cite my dislike of 14, it would definitely be, I would say, a lot of the content decisions in Stormblood were not great. I feel like Blue Mage being this weird mini game, right, was not a great idea. I've cited that 1,000 times. I bitched to high heaven about that. And Eureka is not future-proofed at all. And, you know, other Bajta to an extent also is not very future-proofed, right? So, like, they'll put a bunch of work into all these different game modes, and then, like, no one will play them after the expansion. And I just am like, well, if there's anything you want to get from it, you have to do it before it drops off the face of the earth, right? Like, some things, like the Chloe lady, I forget what it was. Like, who cares, right? Like, no one really gives a shit about that. What are we doing? Here we go. Like, no one really cares about Chloe Aliapo or whatever. I don't really give a shit. But, you know, certain things like Eureka is actually really tied to the fucking story, which is cool. And it's cool that as someone who did it, like, I got that extra little bit of dialogue in Endwalker. Now, obviously, I'm not going to sit here and pretend like it changed my understanding of Endwalker's story, but it was still cool that they referenced that you've done it. You know, I like that 14 goes that extra mile. Oh, shit. The relics come out this week. Oh, shit. Is there a patch tomorrow? Oh, fuck me. Oh, my God. And the game's gonna be down, isn't it? Shit. I'm gonna have to skip the fucking Hildebrand shit. Oh, no. I guess I'm not recording anything today. I have to do that shit. I totally let that run up on me. Damn. I'm kind of glad that Hildebrand didn't really happen during Shadowbringers. They kind of took a break from him, which is good and bad. It's good because now I don't have to do as much, but it's bad, I guess, if you liked his plot arc, I guess. which for me, like, it's a massive shit post. I kind of don't care, honestly. That's not one of my favorite aspects of the game at all. So I kind of am just like, you know, whatever. A lot of people swear by it. I kind of, if there's any trials, I could probably solo it. Oh, that's the trial I never got in Stormblood. Was there's one trial that's like hidden behind the Hildebrand plotline, and now if you want the relic, you're gonna have to do it. It's fucking Yojimbo again. I've seen it. I was like, what the fuck is this? I'm like, dude, there's content. How do you unlock this? And then someone was like, oh, it's Hildebrand. I'm like, oh, I don't care. I mean, but that's a way to keep it relevant, right? Like that is a way to ensure that people who want the relic, either for glamour or for whatever, have to do it. That is a way that you keep stuff relevant, right? So that way it doesn't just disappear, and then, like, you know, like, I understand it. It makes sense to me why they would do that, right? It's not like they're just being dicks and want you to do a trial. It's to ensure that nothing ever really gets dead-ended in this game, right? Because I think that's the biggest thing about World of Warcraft, is part of the reason why I don't really know a lot of the WoW dungeons, besides maybe like Black Fathom and Ragefire, is because, like, there's no duty roulette. Like, once you just do it when it's level relevant, and then that's it. If you want to do it, there's no way to, like, just teleport over there and fucking do it. And, you know, you might say, well, 14, like what's the point of doing old dungeons? But I mean, like, it's a way to keep the content, it's a way to interact with, like, what the hell is that? This is a dark one, I think? Yeah. It's a way to keep the content relevant. It's a way to keep players interacting with one another, right? So you have new players interacting with old players. Or I should say high-level players interacting with low-level players. Like, that's one of the strengths, I think, about 14, is that you have this duty finder that will keep people, you know, communicating. It will keep people, you know, talking and interacting with one another. And I think that that's really just a net positive on the game, is that people will interact, they'll talk together, and they will, you know, communicate. I just like that. I like that, you know, you get to see people of all different skill levels, right? Whereas with WoW, you just do dungeons that are level relevant, and that's it. Like I say, it feels like a math problem. It doesn't feel like, you know, you're really interacting and playing with people. That's why, like, I don't get mad in a leveling roulette, because if I'm watching somebody and I look at them and they got a sprout, I automatically know, oh, dude, they don't know what they're doing. And it could be an alt. It's better not to assume that everyone's an alt. Like Overwatch back in the fucking, what was it called? The witch hunt days, where everybody was a fucking Smurf, and everyone accused everyone else who was low level of being a Smurf. Okay. So yeah. Alright, so this is the finished first portion. I guess I'll put it like right here-ish. Let me make sure I sweep this out. Take this. Oh, look at this initial portion is just wacky, man. Hello? What the fuck? Yeah, I wish I had a lamp, like, on this side of the room. Eventually, I will hopefully get it. I need to clean up and move stuff around, and then figure that out. I got a mess of wires. I got a lot of stuff. This, you know, my room has always been kind of... Wait, where was that desk when I was... Oh, man, was it even in this room? I don't think so. This desk over here to my right is just like a big menace. But it's really good when I want to do stuff like drawing and other things. So I've learned to accept it. Oh, no. That's a big piece. You can't use that. The fuck? Let me guess. This is gonna go like right down the back. I guess this is the back piece, yeah. See, it's gonna go right down the back like this. So yeah, I mean, like, I'm trying to level as much as I can in WoW Classic. Without that buff, that buff really kind of fucks with me, man. I kind of miss it. Like I said, it was some of the most fun I'd ever had playing World of Warcraft was playing with that buff, because it just it made nothing feel like it took too long, you know? Like, I just feel like certain classes just level faster, right? So I'll be playing Hunter and I'll just kill shit because I don't have to stop to fucking eat every 5 seconds. I just kill shit very fast, you know? Like, when your pet, takes as little damage as it does, you give each other as many buffs as you do. It's kind of like, hello, what the fuck? Take this, like this. Are you fucking for real, homie? Dude, are you fucking serious? No. The fuck is wrong with you? Like, actually. Unbelievable. YouTube is a wild, wild fucking wasteland of fucking bots, man. I swear to God. Remember when I used to get a bot every fucking stream? Like, actually? It's nuts. It's actually fucking ridiculous. Let's see. Don't worry, they'll never take care of that. Not in a million fucking years. You really secure this like this? This is secured by like one little block. I'm assuming that we're gonna do some more stuff with this, right? Yeah, I see this coming up. I'm gonna secure this a little bit. Yes, I really come on YouTube to FAP. That's a great idea. That's for Twitch. All right. Oop. Knew that was gonna happen. And these like mega builds are lit. There has to be like a series of this stuff, you know? This to me is like one of the better things that they've definitely dropped in a while. Because it looks so true to the actual like character, you know? That's why I like it so much. You know, like usually you get things boiled down into smaller pieces or whatever. Because I've had tons of kits with astromechs. Obviously, a Y-wing that held this would literally be like the biggest thing ever, right? Like, it's not happening, you know what I mean? Okay, let me secure this over here, right? It's like this, right? Now, there you go. Now, it shouldn't fly all over the fucking place. Yep, see? Very nice. Okay. Aha! It's beautiful. They want me to flip it like this. Yeah, I don't think we haven't done anything in the front. This will be good because we'll actually get to finish up the head, right? Or, I'm sorry, the back. And then the last thing to do is probably to, like, socket the head down on top of it, you know? This is definitely going to be one of, like, the star builds that I have. Like, I'm actually definitely going to have this one be showcased, like, somewhere in my room. Like, I got a lot of stuff. Like I said, I own a lot of Amiibo. I own a lot of other things. I actually own a couple of Japanese games. I think I own, like, one, maybe two Japanese games. I know I own Final Fantasy IV, right? The GBA game. The boxes are different, which is obviously, you know, you expect that, I guess. It's not, like, a surprising thing. But it's really interesting how sleek and slim the boxes are for, Japanese GBA games. They're like little smaller rectangles, whereas here we have like squares. You know, we don't have cubes, we have like squares. But I mean, then again, how many people, like, that era is dead, and I'm really sad it is, because that shit was fire, dude. You walk into some place. I remember walking into like Costco and all these other stores, and you see fucking boxes of boxes. Who's messaging me? This is the daytime, so I actually have to kind of be reasonably attentive. It could be my phone. It's been bothering me about some app or something. I guess I'll take care of it eventually. Or it could be something important. So I will check it out in due time. My Discord does not ring my phone, which is really nice. Shit, I feel like I need to put these in first before I do this. Oh, man. Like, I really wonder how easy they think it is to, like, take a piece like this. You have to, like, hold this down and then slide it in. You know, like, I wonder how easy they think it is to actually, like, maneuver and pull this off, you know? It's kind of hard, honestly. Right? Like, there you go. And then it'll just randomly slide the fuck in, which is awesome. Here's these three, right? Where is this black bar? There we go. Right, 1, 2, 3. All 4 of those. We put the 4, blue pieces in. Now, this is what I like. I don't know why we couldn't do this last step, but whatever. Oh, man. I want to see if I can get another Naboo fighter. I have to see which... I have to actually start categorizing and logging what Lego pieces I have so I know which sets I do and don't have. So that'll be like the next thing I do. Is that it? Yep. So this goes on the back. Like so. It's still kind of leaning a little forward. Not really sure how that is going to work out. Still kind of leans. I'm a little worried about that. Because this is supposed to be the back, right? Because the tools are supposed to come out the front. So I'm not really sure. Did I, like, put it on wrong or something? Because it definitely does not lean this way. Yeah, I think I might have put this on incorrectly then. Because if you know R2D2, he leans backward while he does his thing. So I wonder how I fix that, right? Because there's no way we have him lean forward the whole time. Unless the head is supposed to, like, change that, right? So, but I have it correctly. Because I have the red and the back goes on the red. I don't know. Maybe this is correct and I'm just overthinking it, right? Because if you look at the diagram, I have everything exactly as is. Or as it should be. Yeah, so maybe he just... I don't know. I feel like this is definitely not right. But I guess I'll trust that I didn't make a massive fuck up earlier. And I'll just leave it as is. Maybe when the head comes on, it leans back. I don't know. This just feels wrong to me. Like I should redo it, or I don't think I could, like, swap the plates, right? But whatever. Because shouldn't the legs, like, come forward or rotate, right? I don't know. Maybe this thing isn't exactly, like, that intense. Okay, whatever. It's fine. It's not, but I'll be toxic to myself and say that it is. Alright. Making the same thing twice, almost. I want to do that Mass Effect 2 Insanity run. That's the one I want to get to that maybe this year or maybe next soon. I cannot believe I have to fucking do Hildebrand, man. That's going to be like 100 quests. It's ridiculous. It's like the worst fucking shit I've ever left for myself. I mean, I don't have to do Relic on day one. It's just I'm lazy. Yeah, fuck it. I might just leave it. Hopefully the Relic ain't that obnoxious. Which is like the most delusional statement I've ever made in my life. Knowing damn well Relics are incredibly obnoxious on 14. Especially after someone who did the fucking... I did two weapons and fucking... What is it? Two weapons on Eureka. So... It's just the Pagos and Pyro steps, man. If they fucking nerf the light steps, that's all they have to do. It's just nerf the light. Like, why? Like, light farming is fine for the Heavensward relics, because you could just farm a Savage. So you just farm A9. You probably kill A9 in, like, 2 minutes now. You know what I mean? Like, that's just crazy to me, that they never nerf those fucking relics. Wait, hold on. Where's all this shit supposed to be? Hello? What? Oh, okay, here we go. I was about to say. I saw the 11, I was like, what? So how do they want me to do this? Like, this? They want me to leave this hole open. So I'll actually move it down here so you can actually see. They want me to, like, leave this hole open. It's ridiculous, man. Yep, we're prepping for the head now, boys. Basically with this, they're saying that the actual body is done. Right now, it's just going to be the head. Oh. I was supposed to... What? What the fuck? Yeah, I was supposed to put shit in these, I guess, right? Yeah, okay, this is fine. I just never put these two. That's why I had so many of them last time. Yeah, I'm going to record today. And I'm also going to probably cook. I'm not about to do all this stupid shit for Hildebrand. Honestly, if I don't stream Hildebrand, would I be salty? I mean, like, yeah, 14 is a game about story, but that quest line, I just never was hooked on it, right? Like, I don't know if people remember what the old 14 trailers used to look like, right? Back in the day. But in the old 14 trailers, homies, woo-wee. They were fucking ads for the game, basically. Okay, so when you push this little thing, I guess I could show it over here, right? So the way you open it is that this little thing back here, right? When you push it, it opens this compartment and it lets the little R2D2 tool come out. Which is kind of nice. So these are supposed to jut out like this forever, basically. Okay, that's fine. I just don't like that it tilts forward like this. Now, maybe the head will be kind of a stabilizer and make it stand up like this. But to me, this seems like I wasn't supposed to do this. But, man, this thing looks so fucking good. This is definitely one of the best builds I have in my collection now. Okay. Bag 11. We only have like, what, 1, 2, 3 more bags. There's a mini bag that goes with this. I don't really count it as separate. So we only have like a few more bags. This probably won't take more than like another, I want to say 30, 45 minutes. I can actually go in the stream and do stuff. If I had known I was this close, maybe I would have soldiered on, but I had to spend all that time looking for that piece that wasn't actually lost, which is really what killed most of my drive. And then next week we'll do the Star Destroyer, like I said. There you go. Okay. All right. I am kind of hungry. I like how I only start to feel hungry or thirsty or tired when I actually start to stream. That's the crazy part. I barely even done anything today. I was supposed to go out, but they don't have that Pokemon giveaway yet. So, hopefully that drops at some point. Oh, nice. They highlight this. This is like my first time actually seeing this. They highlight the instructions, like what you can and can't see. I've been building with these things for a while, man. I've never seen them do that. That's kind of interesting. Let me take a drink. Smooth it out. I'm looking for like specific little pieces like this. Oh, this reminds me of playing the Oracle games, because when I was young, I was what, 5 when the Oracle games came out? Man, those were good. That's why I really was hoping they would fucking remake them, man. Like, I really wish that Nintendo would just remake them. Like, that to me would be like such a childhood throwback, you know? Wait, hold up. This is supposed to go like this. That would be so awesome, but, you know. Well, they'll probably do it a billion years from now. They could have, I really wish they had just, like, thrown it out, like, halfway, like, last year. Just been like, yo, we have the engine, we just redid the puzzles, and we sold it up both as a collectible, like, as a collection, you know? That would have been such a dub. Would have been so good. They could get Capcom to redo whatever, or just sign off on it. Just redo the puzzles, add in some hint systems or whatever. You know how they do when they remake old Nintendo games now. Just add in some shit. And then it would have been gold. It would have been God tier, right? Like, you could have said to yourself, oh, well, look, they got these old games remastered, right? Like, because those old graphics are cool and all. And the Link's Awakening system kind of grew on me a little bit, right? Like, initially I was like, oh, this looks bad, yeah. But then I realized, like, it does kind of look like what the original would look like if it were made today. So I kind of ended up liking it, you know? I was like, huh, you know, this isn't actually all that bad. I had to actually think to myself, and, you know, certain things, you know, you have a knee-jerk reaction, and then over time, you know, gradually I was like, you know what, this ain't actually all that bad. This is actually pretty true to the original. So I actually ended up liking it. And that's why when I played it, I was like, you know, this is fun, because I never actually really got to truly play Link's Awakening. So I like that. That, to me, was a fun time. And it just had me wondering, like, damn, think about what they could do with some of the games I liked, you know? Like, that could be kind of cool. In and of itself. Okay, we are going to need 2 of these. Right, we're gonna need this. What? Oh, like this. And then we're gonna need a 2-piece. Yeah, I want to play Spyro. I'm gonna play Spyro and Battle for Bikini Bottom again. I really should replay Battle for Bikini Bottom Rehydrated. It's been a while. If I could snatch it for cheap, I'll probably do it. Okay. This is the ring, basically. This is the basis of the head. So you could probably see, like, we can put it, like, around here. Probably something like this, right? I'm not sure exactly how it's going to go. I'll probably attach on the top and then some other stuff. So this is just the beginning. Pretty dope. This is why Legos is so nice, man. It's such a creative thing. I love them. I love Legos, man. Oh, this isn't one of these. It's one of these. Why would you have this face inward? This little, like, bulb. Man, imagine if a set like this had come out in, like, Phantom Menace. This would have been the set. This would have been the hottest set of that year. That's what I mean. You kind of just had to wait decades, right, for stuff to come out and just be god tier. You know, like, it just had to, unfortunately, so many sets have to die, so many years had to go by, and then, like, just every so often you just get, like, something amazing. Yeah, I kind of want to get that really in-depth fucking X-Wing next. I think that would be, like, really the cream of the crop. Because I've always loved X-Wings. That's why I like Rogue fucking Squadron, man. Rogue Squadron's cool because it has that. Shit was fire. I just hated that Rogue Squadron 3, you couldn't play, like, the Rogue Squadron 2 missions because they're locked behind co-op. And it's like you have to have someone actually play the game. Like, you can't, it's not, fuck, I just hated that. That would have been so much better. Hated it. Whatever. Great game ruined by that, man. Because buying Rogue Squadron 2 just wasn't a thing I could do at the time. Now it is, and I already own it. But now I'm older, and I don't know, I can't justify time on my channel to fucking play Rogue Squadron 2. Even though I really should. Never said it was a bad game. Just, I got too much other shit to play. And, like, I'm catching up on stuff. I just have to catch up harder, faster. It's just crazy how quick time flies, man. You know, one year where we're talking about Guitar Hero and the 360 and all this other stuff, right? And all these crazy games coming out and shit. You know, Dead Space when it was new and all that stuff. And then you fast forward like a year or two and bam! Is that we're already here talking about the PS5 and, like, but realistically, nothing really has come out on the PS5, right? What does it matter? Nothing's really come out, so that's why I haven't booted my PS5 in years, in like a month or 2 months, like, because there's nothing to buy on it. There's nothing to play on the PS5. It's just a console I happen to own, So I have it. If something comes out, obviously, like with all the new games and stuff, sure, but one, I gotta want to buy a new game for like $60. I don't usually. I'm like, I don't want to, or for 70, excuse me. I don't want to buy half these games for 70. So that's kind of where I stand with games now. It's like with what the fucking Batman dude said. It's like, oh, games should really be $93. That's why they have all those collector's editions come out and cost like $93, like $100, right? So like with Odyssey, I took a little bit of a leap, but I liked Origins, right? Origins, I didn't buy the collector's edition, but with Odyssey, I did because I liked Origins so much, and Odyssey was worth it, right? I'd say that Odyssey's playthrough was long enough. I did enough. It was worth the money. Origins was fine. I would have maybe done it, but I didn't trust him after Syndicate. So that's kind of where I stand with that, right? Like, some games I just know I will get my money's worth, and other games I'm a little more wary of, especially like new franchises, new names, new everything, right? It's like, I don't know if I trust it, if I'm being completely honest. I don't know if I trust half these companies to make decent games without weird shit in them. Without weird, like, lying and obfuscating and shit. Like, that's what Last of Us 2 really is to me, is a bunch of fucking lying and shit. So, I don't know. I just kind of leave it be. I like a lot of games. I like a lot of things. But I'm not willing to, like, bypass a whole bunch of stuff just because. Okay, I did this. So, that's fine by me. I personally am looking forward to a lot of games, right? So, like, Fire Emblem Engage, right? I'm not sure if that was originally, like, a mobile game or something, and then they were like, oh, no, we can make it a full-on game. But I'm at least interested in it, right? Like, I can't say that, like, I'm going to be the biggest fan of it, but I am at least interested in Fire Emblem Engage. Because I always like Fire Emblem. It's just a franchise you have to actually, like, put a lot of thought into what you do. It's not like something you can kind of, like, AFK play in your head, which is fine, right? That's not, When I was younger, I just wasn't really there yet. I don't know. Now I'm older, it's kind of the number one thing I like, right? I like Fire Emblem. It's definitely one of my favorite, like, Nintendo franchises that have had a glow up, That whole teaching aspect of Three Houses with, like, the class blending and everything was, like, one of my favorite things I've seen on a game in a long time, right? Like, the only thing is I wish that the New Game Plus was a little better, right? Like, yeah, it trivializes it maybe a little bit to be able to say, oh, well, you could just come into any fight and have everything unlocked. Sure, but it also would be just a little more fun to not have to reteach people the same bullshit over and over and over again. Okay, let's see what this is. Okay, so it actually wasn't just my phone being random. I'll put it back in my pocket. I still have my ringtone set to be the Three Houses bell. I just don't interact with my phone a lot because I have to plug it into my computer. It's not. I kind of just leave it be on its own. I don't do a lot of shit with my phone. I'll be honest with you. I haven't updated the music on it in months. Like, it's just too much work. That was the one thing I liked about iPhones, is that you could have an iPhone and, like, it was just easier to update it, Like, you plug it in, it opens it like an iPod, you just dump everything on it. But I don't know if that's worth, $1,000, Like, do I even listen to music that much? Not really. I don't really go out and walk about like I used to, where I would have listened to music, every day. Those days are over. So maybe back in the day, I would have been a little more inclined to say, well, it's worth it because X, Y, and Z. But today, you know, it's kind of like, well, I don't really do that anymore, so there's no point. I just kind of stay home for the most part, which is really nice. It's really fun, actually. That's why my room is, in my opinion, I really like it now. Oh no, Max isn't here today. But thank you, Drakion. Today it's just me. Today is just me because it's early, so Max is actually not here. And I just said I wanted to finish this so that way I can move on. But I'll pass on the good wishes. And no, Max has been very, very helpful. You know, he's been on a lot of my content over the last several years, so I appreciate him. Ever since Ghost Recon, man. After Ghost Recon, I was like, bro, I'm gonna hit you up when we need to do some co-op, right? Oh, they want this at an angle? That's kind of interesting. What kind of piece is this? What the fuck kind of piece is this? Hello? Well, weird piece is this. Yeah, like this. And then they want it to, like, point outward. Like, how? Like, what? This is the most ghetto thing this instruction right here is the most ghetto instruction I've ever seen in a Lego build. Ever. Have it at an angle. You're gonna hold it sideways like a Glock. What is going on, man? Good lord. Oh, man. But yeah, what was I talking about? I'm probably gonna go out later today then. I'm gonna go out later and see if they have those Pokemon codes. See if I could get one before it's fucking gone. That would be really awesome if I could, because that's the nice thing about New York is I could hit up multiple GameStops in one day. So I'm gonna try to do just that. I'm gonna try to hit up multiple GameStops in one day, and then be like, "Yo, let me get the goods," and then I'll just go over to the next GameStop. There used to be 2 GameStops at 14th Street. Now I don't know if they have both of them open. I know one of them is. I don't know if both of them are still open. I guess today I'll find out, because if they are, I'm snatching multiple codes, homie. Be a menace. Like I said, back when they were doing the Entei, the legendary dogs giveaway for Pokemon Heart Gold, Soul Silver, it was like all the Gen 4. See, that's what's fucked up. It was all the Gen 4 Pokemon games all had the same giveaway, right? Diamond, Pearl, Platinum, Heart Gold, and Soul Silver all had the same giveaway. Back in the day, they had the same giveaway for all the legendary dogs. And I remember thinking to myself, like, damn, you know, I want to get all 5 of them. So I walked into GameStop. I was downloading a couple of them. And then the one of the employees walks up and is like, oh, you can only take one. You can only take one. And I'm like, why? Like, isn't the whole point that you come in and you get all the stuff? He's like, no. You can only have one. You can only take one. So I said, all right, no worries, man. I took my stuff, you know, I paid for whatever I was shopping at, and then I just left the store and I just literally, like, I walked right around the corner and I just sat outside and I just got the rest of them. And I'm like, well, now I'm just on public property, dude. Like, what are you going to do about that? And if the system sucks, then maybe Game Freak should have had a better system, which at this point I am very comfortable saying. That was like the most dickish thing I've ever done. But even then, like, I just feel like, you know, if you buy all the Pokemon games, first of all, they should just have these fucking giveaways on the internet. I don't know why they insist on making you go out to retail stores to do it. It's so, like, we need to have a tie-in with physical retailers. Like, we just have to. And also, it's just like they put these systems in the game and then don't even fucking use them. Right? Like, you saw how little the Arceus mystery gift was put in. Like, we barely even fucking use that shit. Oh, here it goes. Down here. You barely even use the damn Arceus gift-giving system. You don't even... It's just like, dude. For real? Like, whatever. It's just, it's one of those things. It's like, come on. Same thing with BDSP. There's no reason why all the BDSP events could not have been run, for multiple months at a time, right? Like, there's just no reason why it couldn't be. GameStops are 2 towns away from me. Yeah, for me, it's a couple miles. I'm just gonna ride a train there and back. Hopefully, I'll be back in an hour. Like, I don't want to fucking do it. I'm lazy. I just don't want to go out. That's really what it is. I just want to stay home and be lazy. But it's also like, but they have the infrastructure. They just never use it. I'm just like, bro, why don't we just use the shit that you put in the game? Makes no sense. You could save me so much time. I'm tired. They always insist on, like, the weirdest, most archaic methods of fucking doing anything. But that's Nintendo. I mean, like, that's kind of how Nintendo operates, right? Like, they still operate like the old days, right? And that's why I kind of am inclined to believe the Bayonetta lady. I am inclined to believe that Nintendo kind of runs their shit a little fucked up. I know that might be a lot of, like one of my friends was immediately like, no, she's lying. And, like, yeah, I admit she should not have said anything about Jennifer Hale. She shouldn't have. She should have not said anything about it. Like, I understand that this is her passion project, right? But Jennifer Hale, as overused as she might be for video or voice acting, one, she's good at what she does. Two, it's not her fault, right, that they're not paying her, right? So I personally do kind of, like, I'm not going to take what she says at absolute truth, but I will believe that Nintendo, among other video game companies, do shaft their voice acting talent. I do believe that. I do believe that voice actors continuously get the shaft for any number of reasons. That's why, not to fucking shit on them, but when I think it was Troy Baker made the joke, like, wait for us to die before you actually get a job in this industry, I believe him. I really do think that it is a very nepotized industry. And if you're not in it, it just kind of sucks to be you, doesn't it? And I think it's fucked that this iconic character, the voice actor gets screwed. I could believe that companies are greedy before I believe that she's willing to destroy her career. What are my views on David Cage? You mean the Quantic Dream dude? I don't know. I think his games are cool because they look nice. I'm not like a big fan of them. I don't think they're necessarily bad, unlike some of my friends. I just think that it's maybe pretentious, right? But what video game isn't, like, kind of douchey and pretentious now? So I don't know. Like, I don't hate him. I played Heavy Rain a little bit because I was like, wow, this game is a graphical masterpiece a decade ago. And that was it. Like, I was like, okay, they're just... I like Indigo Prophecy because it's a very 2000s era game. But that's about it. Like, I don't really care much for his games. I don't hate them. I just don't particularly care for them. But yeah, I could believe that companies are being greedy and especially a Japanese company shafting a foreigner. I could believe that. That's not the most unbelievable thing in the fucking world to me. So, do I think that she maybe left out and omitted some things that made her look nicer? Yeah. Should she have said, boycott this game directly and, donate to other places and Jennifer Hale, blah, blah, blah? Of course not. I don't think that part she should have left out. I think that was definitely the emotional part. I mean, it is emotional, right? Imagine you work your life, you have your life's work, right? You finally get a break, on doing this voice acting talent you trained decades for, right? She didn't just step out of voice acting yesterday. This is something she finally gets the break of a lifetime that a lot of voice actors would kill for. And they offer her $4,000 on a game they know is going to make millions, hundreds of millions. They couldn't even kick her a little bit of a feedback. Now, maybe there are royalties in there somewhere, so I can't, unless she outright shows her fucking financials right, from the other two games, I can't totally say that they just only paid her a couple thousand, right? What did they pay her on the last two games? I don't know. But I can believe that they lowballed her for this game, because that's a consistent thing that I have seen. That there's an upper echelon of voice actors that get all the work, right? And you could look at it. Matt Mercer, Yuri Lowenthal, Troy Baker, Nolan North, Jennifer Hale, Ashley Birch. And that's not to say that they're bad at what they do. It's just to say that they get all the jobs. And then that's why you hear the same 5 characters in every game. Because it's the same 5 people in every game. Big ups to Zach Aguilar, by the way. What was it? 9S, Byleth, and no, not 9S. He was fuck, what was he? He was Nier. The character's literally just called Nier. Yeah, he was Nier in the Replicant. I don't know if he was in the original. I don't think so. That's another game to get his fucking Nier original. But yeah, I don't hate David Cage. I never really played any of his games to completion because I just, you know, the whole Telltale style games of like stuff like that. Like, I mean, I like them. I respect them. They're not really my kind of game, right? Like, I don't love them, but I don't hate them. I just, you know, it's just not my cup of tea. So like, I respect the man. I don't know. Not to mention, the voice acting industry is filled with some of the wackiest motherfuckers imaginable. There you go. There's a whole lot of shit going on. I mean, like, let's just be fair here. There's a whole lot of shit going on in the video game industry, in the world, obviously, but, you know, in the video game industry specifically, there's a whole lot of stupid shit going on, man. Have I played Life is Strange? No. Those games definitely don't appeal to me. That, I'll tell you that much. The second one was literally just an anti-Trump fucking hit piece, and so, like, it's obviously not going to age well in 5 years. It already doesn't age well. It's and the other two are just kind of whatever. I don't really care much for those games. And it's like the definition of inserting contemporary politics into your bullshit. Even COD 4 was more fucking strategic about that one. And people shit on Call of Duty, too. That shit is ridiculous. Just get tired of it, man. Don't you ever get tired of having people lecture to you your whole fucking life about shit? Don't you just want to sit down and play a fucking game and just have some fun? I feel like those kinds of very artsy-fartsy games are just... I just don't get into them. They're just too artsy-fartsy for me. I don't like them. I don't like them. And honestly, if I'm being completely apparent with you, I don't think I really like the people that play them either. It's just a general thought. Seem like it's like the Animal Crossing shit. Like, after Space Buns, man, after that Space Buns bullshit, dude, could you fucking imagine the Animal Crossing community? Like, that is such a ridiculous fucking thing that happened, that should have never happened, and the fact that it got as far as it did out of control is already, like, ridiculous. And it just, and to this day, there are people who still die on the hill of whatever, right? Because someone called their shit Space Buns. You almost couldn't even make up sad fucking shit like this, dude. You almost couldn't even make it the fuck up. These people are really, really just sad, man. Not allowed to enjoy anything anymore. Everything must contain a lecture about something. Man. There you go, right in the front. Actually, I think this is the back. This is probably the front, right? I don't know. We'll see. I actually don't know. Yeah, the head will spin. I know that. Like, that's why they have this little piece up here. The head will spin. But yeah, I don't play Life is Strange. I don't, you know, like a lot of those games, like I already play a lot of games. Those games aren't for me. Now, will I ever own them? Maybe, right? Like, maybe I will just so that way I could say I have them. But will I really play them or care? Probably not. Like, I bought that Danganronpa collection. Did I buy both versions or did I just buy the collectors? I don't even remember. I bought the Danganronpa, like, mega collection, for the Switch. And I just own it. Like, it's not my... I don't really like those kinds of games. Like, I played Phoenix Wright, right? Like, way back in the day. I played Phoenix Wright and then Justice for All. I got, like, halfway through Justice for All. And I was like, dude, I'm burnt the fuck out. Like, I'm tired. And I stopped. Like, I played, because in Phoenix Wright on the DS has that extra bonus case, right? Rise from the Ashes, I think it's called. And that shit was legitimately 7 hours long. Like, I didn't play it all in one sitting, but I was like, dude, I'm tired. You know, like, I'm done. I don't want to do this anymore. And I just stopped. I was like, I had a good run. I got, like, maybe 2 cases into Justice for All, and I was like, I just don't want to sit through this anymore. I was like, yeah, I think I've played enough. Which I think is pretty fair. Those games are long. So I was like, alright, I've had a good time. That's enough for me. The fuck? The fuck? Hello? Oh, they want me to do this. Really? Hold up. I think I missed something here. I think something is supposed to get propped up there. Yeah. Here we go. But yeah, I'll get back to Fallout. I know that's you originally joined and watched me play Fallout for a little bit. I will get back to Fallout. Wait, I'm sorry. What the fuck? Am I bugging? Hold on. I gotta go back a few steps. Yeah, I'm supposed to put this here. Right? We have this. And then this. Oh, no, I have to put a 2-piece? Yeah, I did put a 2-piece, right? Yeah, I did. Okay, I don't think I've missed anything here, right? This. Wait. Oh, this is not... What the fuck? Yeah, hold on. I gotta do this right. It's like I own a lot of games I probably just will never play for the channel. That's fine. I don't really mind that. Like I said, that's part of collecting to me. That's something I like and enjoy, you know? Oh, I did it wrong again. Damn. There we go. No, wait. I feel like I'm super fucking up right now. I never played films made into games for cash grabs. There's a lot of good video game games. I always talk about Enter the Matrix, where they actually filmed real movie quality scenes for that game. That was pretty cool. I always talk about that game because in my mind I'm like, that is like completely over the top, like 2000s era bullshit, right? Like the Matrix. Like you couldn't go wrong with that shit, like, at all. That's why I fucking look back on it so fondly. Oh, this is a 3-way. Yeah, I look back on it so fondly because I'm like, that game was actually, like, really, really fun. I actually really, really enjoyed it. And so I wish they had done more. I wish they had made more for, you know, more games like that. You know, put in that extra mile, right? To have that kind of storytelling in a video game is unique even till today. It's very rare that they're willing to, like, give control and give, like, you know, plot development to a video game, right? Like, that's generally not something that you'll see. It's generally just not. You won't see games and movies be like, oh, we'll just let the video game handle this. Like, no. That doesn't really happen. Even with like the cinematic universe for Marvel, right? They don't really even give Marvel games that kind of control. What the fuck is this piece? Am I missing a piece for this? Right? Oh, is this a 2? No. Didn't I just have a 2? Here it is. I'm like, what the fuck? Right? No, but I already put that. That's why I'm getting confused because all this is so similar. Yeah. Then you put this on and it's one level higher. Okay. Let's see. And they want me to put this here, like this, but it won't. Oh, it does go down. Wait, what kind of piece is this? They want me to put a 2 and a... Okay, a 2 in a corner. Gotcha. Like this. It's a little hard to see because it's dark. It's dark blue on a blue background. Wish they made Legos for a lot of things, a lot of Japanese things. I'm into RPGs, JRPGs, and shooters. Man, that was a good way to describe me a few years ago. I mean, even now I like shooters, right? You don't get a lot of single-player shooters, at least none that I really see a lot of, that I'd be super interested in. But I liked JRPGs a lot. Like I've always liked them. Since that was one of the things in 2000, I was like, wow, this genre is crazy. You got a good story, you know. That's why Symphonia is so like clutch to me. It's like, it showed me that you could have JRPGs and really enjoy them. They're humorous, they're thought-provoking, you know. Obviously, looking back, Symphonia is a little bit of a beat over the head with the racism plotline, but, you know, at the time, in 2000, it was good. It's better than Modern Tales, that's for sure. Modern Tales games are just, ugh. Like, they're just not the same, I don't know. I mean, like, Berseria is fine. I thought Xillia and Xillia 2 were fine. Zestiria was not. I didn't really like Zestiria. Berseria, like I said, Berseria was fine. Arise is like the worst Tales game I've played in a while. I have a really hard time, you know, deciding what was worse, Arise or Zestiria. I think Zestiria is technically worse, but Rise is worse because of the implied monetization that they wanted to put in, right? Like, Zestiria just has a lot of, like, really boring and lame parts. I thought that Sorey was, like, a very bland protagonist, and, like, the story is very, very simplistic. Whereas if you boot up Berseria for 5 minutes, and Berseria has a more complex story with a better character. Like, that's just my takeaway from it, right? That's the part of it that I like. I like that you play Berseria for 5 minutes, you already know what Crow's about. It's really cool. It's a really fun game. The combat is complex, so I was looking at the Steam reviews for it because it's actually on sale for like $5. And one of the big things that somebody said was like, well, the combat, you know, it starts off simplistic and then it gets really, really in-depth, which I'm going to be honest with him, that's most JRPGs, so if you don't like that, this really isn't the genre for you. But it's also a fair thing to say. Even playing it, I was like, this is a lot to take in. Like, yeah, I could learn through experience and whatever, but I'm not going to lie, a lot of Tales games, they went from being overly simplistic to being super complex with a lot of different systems at play. So, like, yeah, Berseria is a fun game, I love it, but I'm not going to sit here and lie. Like, I played Rokuro, and basically the whole game was very simplistic, just button masher. And, I mean, Velvet is meant to be a button masher, but Velvet is harder to play, in my... I think most of the characters don't really gel well. Because I don't think casting works well on that system. I don't think Tales has ever had a good system for casters. besides Mila. I think Mila was the only character where the casting was really easy because you could use it in combat. That was like her specialty. Have I played Tale of Heroes Trials of Cold? No, I have not. No, I have not. Sounds like a very anime game. It's ironic. Like, I like anime. I like JRPGs. I don't really play a lot of anime-ish JRPGs, like the niche ones. Like, I'll play Tales. I think the closest I play is Sword Art, because Sword Art was really fun. Even if you don't like the anime, I think that Sword Art had a lot of good gameplay in it, and it did not hold your hand in the slightest. And that was what really set apart Hollow Fragment for me, is that they dump you in, and they just expect, they just tell you, go nuts, figure it out, fucker. I mean, of course, if you do the hollow area first, which is what I recommend, you get a better experience doing the hollow area first, in my opinion. I think the hollow area is just a better time to do the hollow area first. I like that. That was a fun time for me. Now, if you do the main story, if you do Infinity Moment first, it's not really, anything to write home about. It's a pretty typical anime game. That's why, like, after beating Hollow Fragment's, like, actual, like, portion, I was kind of like, all right, well, it's cool that they didn't just replace the other game, right? Like, it's cool that they took it, they ported it. It had one of the worst translations ever. They should be damned ashamed of themselves. That shit was awful, man. But part of it is that it was like deciphering fucking runes. Like, so, on one hand, it's like, yeah, they did a really sloppy job translating it, like the menus and everything, and then they patched it and made it better. But on the other hand, it was kind of cool to, like, have to figure out how to play this game basically through experience alone. I thought that was also, like, you see, I could see both sides of it. It was an interesting time. It was almost 8 years ago at this point. So, I mean, Sword Art might still be reasonably popular, but is anyone dying to play Hollow Fragment in the current year? Probably not, right? Like, probably not. Let's just say that. Even though it is in my opinion, it was one of the most unique gaming experiences of my life, it's also a gaming experience that came and went, and it's old. So... Oh, we have to make 4 of these? Are you serious? Oh my god. I mean, I spend most of my time now, if it's not a game on my channel, it's probably 14 or World of Warcraft, right? So, like, that's where most of my time goes now. That's kind of been true for a while, though, right? Like, in terms of games for the channel, right? Like, I basically don't play a lot of single-player games off of the channel because, I mean, it's good content. I remember stuff more when I speak over it, too. I feel like it imprints more on me when I play a game for the channel and actively talk about it, Of course, that means I slow down the rate at which I play games, but I think it's a worthy sacrifice, right? I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing. I actually do prefer playing games, at a very slower pace, but one that I end up enjoying the experience a little bit more for, Where the fuck is this piece? Hello? What are they talking? Oh. Why would they wait till this step to put this there? That is so weird. That is so fucking weird, man. And then over here, with this one, we take this, these together like so. See, this is the front of R2D2, as usual. You've probably seen this 1,000 times in media, right? He's probably one of the most iconic robots in history. Now, my only thing is that we have all these pieces. Again, maybe they give spare fucking 2x1s. I don't know, and it doesn't seem like I missed anything. Now that I'm actively looking at this, it doesn't seem like I missed anything. I think they just give these as spares. Went for a cup of tea and cherry cake. Yeah, no worries. Not going anywhere. I guess I lied when I said it would only take us like another 40 or so minutes. Alright, hold on. My phone is buzzing. Is it? What the fuck? Yeah. Okay. Alright. Well, I mean, we only got, what, a handful of bags left? We have this and one more, and then that's it, and we're done. I see this right here. And this is how I end up with spares for my own builds. Because I just have all these parts, and then like you don't use any of them, right? Like you use a couple of them, and that's it. I mean, the rest are just like meant to be if you lose them or something. Still have to buy that piece for that Venator. I'll do that at some point. Okay. Alright, I guess I should probably take it off of this, right? I shouldn't actually leave it on there. Like a crown. You put this on like a little crown, a little helmet. Like, that's why playing the Complete Saga is still one of my favorite games, for sure. Because it just has, like, a lot of good stuff in it. It's a really fun experience to 100% the Complete Saga. It's a little annoying. There's a couple of parts that are like, eh. But, you know, a lot of times it's just, like, slowly chipping away, getting to that, you know, that nice 100% rank. What the hell? They say ×2. What? Shouldn't it be times? Oh, no, because this one you just put it on like that. There you go. Where is it? Oh, you gotta spread it out a little bit. There it is. But yeah, back to that voice actor thing. I just specifically spent like a good amount of time yesterday like looking this up because my friend was like, "Oh no, this is her just being an asshole. This is her just being rude." And he posts this chart of like how much voice actors make, right? And like my initial reaction to this was like three different things, right? One, is this woman an A-lister by Japanese VA standards? Two, does this list even apply to dub VAs, right? Like, does this list apply to people who make the dub and not just people who are native Japanese speakers who just are, you know, working on, I guess, what would be the Japanese dub, right? Like, does this apply to people who make English dubs, right? Like, we don't know. I told him, like, there's a lot of holes in this. And lastly, I said, well, I think what I said, one, does she count as an A-lister? Two, is this for the dub? There was a third thing I said to him. I'm like, we don't know if any of this applies to her. So, I mean, ultimately, a lot of it is up in the fucking air, right? Like, ultimately, you just kind of got to figure out which side you think is telling the truth more, right? Is she just, basically, you're trying to discern, is she telling the truth or is she just greedy, right? That's pretty much what it comes down to. I was like, but who even knew who the fuck she was until, like, a day or two ago? Like, people might follow her, like, not to shit on her, right? But you know who Jennifer Hale is. Did anyone know the Bayonetta lady's name off the top of their head until, like, a day or two ago? Probably not. You could recognize her as the voice of Bayonetta, but you yourself probably probably did not know who she was. And that's fine. It's just that, you know, that's the point I'm trying to make, is that, like, these people that you know are household names, for lack of a better term, right? You know who Matt Mercer is. You know who Nolan North is. You know who Troy Baker is. You know who Jennifer Hale is, right? And then I started doing more research, and Jennifer Hale actually went uncredited in Metroid Prime and Metroid Prime 2, and again in Metroid Prime 3 as Samus Aran. So I'm like, I'm here thinking to myself, so Nintendo already has a shitty history with giving voice actors their credit, right? And then I looked up more stuff. Apparently the reason why Cloud and Sephiroth are in Japanese in Smash 4 and then Smash Ultimate is because they did not want, like, Cloud's actor is unionized. All the Square Enix actors are unionized. So they did not want, they don't want to give credit to them or something. It's really weird. They don't want to give credit to them because the union they're in dictates they must have their real names be given for credit. And so Pitt is voiced because his VA was fine going uncredited, but their union tells them, like, no, you have to get credited. So therefore Nintendo didn't even phone him up. And so they just speak Japanese. It's nuts to me. It's like, apparently this is a thing. Like, this is what Nintendo does with VAs. It's fucked up. And if this is the pretext to, like, a bigger conversation about how VAs are treated, I'm all for it. You know? How many games would be unmade where they wouldn't be the same if we didn't have the VAs doing the stellar jobs that they did? Like, I just got done playing Xenoblade 3. And that dub is really good, in my opinion. Like, I know people like to shit on dubs. None of you speak Japanese natively anyway. You're all a bunch of posers. But, like, I sat through Xenoblade 3. You know, there's a lot of lines. Tion's VA, there's a specific line. There's a specific thing that Tion says that really stuck with me. And it really made me, like, you know, start to think him as a cooler character. Beyond just, oh, I think up plans. Right? It was when he was talking about how, like, you know, every day that he would go to war, he would come back and see his friends are safe. And then, you know, he would feel relief for a minute, and then he'd be like, but what if this doesn't happen tomorrow? What if I'm not here? Right? Like, you know, that line was delivered so well. Some of the story in that game was just done so well. And I really love Xenoblade 3. I think that is truly one of the best games on the Switch. It's definitely in my top 3. I think the top 3 for Switch games for me would definitely be Fire Emblem Three Houses, I would say Fire Emblem Three Houses, Xenoblade 3, and it's kind of cheesy to say Xenoblade Definitive, right? That feels like a little bit of a cheap way. I don't know. I'd have to figure out what my third one would be. I want to say Yoshi's Crafted World is up there. Kirby and the Forgotten Land wasn't bad. I wasn't a huge fan of Mario Odyssey. The Mario Collection doesn't count. That would be too easy, obviously. I really wish they would fucking put that up for sale again. That is ridiculous that they had it up for sale. Like, now I want to buy it digitally and they don't let you. It's ridiculous. Like that's all I'm saying is that I could believe that Nintendo did some fucked up shit. I can believe it. I could believe that they did something. I could believe, you know, it's like, I know Kamiya is already on damage control mode because that's just the kind of guy he is. I don't hate the man. He's obviously a very talented dev, right? He was the director on Resident Evil 2. I think a couple Devil May Cries, right? But the man's a little bit of an asshole, right? He's a little bit of an asshole. That's not a damning quality of his. I like his work. I think he's a talented director. I think he's one of the better ones out there in the industry. But I do think that either Nintendo or Platinum tried to, cheapen the fucking load here. Now, evidence could come out, and I'll change my opinion if that happens. But I do believe, so far, from what I know about Nintendo and what I know about the voice acting industry, that it seems that they lowballed her. She could be lying, right? It is totally possible that Helena Taylor is lying. Totally possible. Or it's totally possible that greedy companies are greedy and they thought they were going to stiff a dub actor out of money. It's just that simple. Those are the two alternatives. Do I believe big businesses are greedy, or do I think someone is willing to destroy their career and livelihood over a little white lie to try to get a couple extra money, a couple extra dollars? I don't know. Obviously, people are picking sides. It is what it is. But I personally feel that is totally, not the most unbelievable thing of the year. Especially when I looked into other things they've done. How are you going to have Samus Aran's voice actress not be credited in the fucking game? Really? Really? Huh. Okay. That's interesting. Now, don't get me wrong. Jennifer Hale, like she does a lot of stuff, right? She's in a lot of things. She has a separate page on Wikipedia for her filmography. Great. Good for her. Really, really glad for her. And I'm not saying that she doesn't deserve the role of Bayonetta. It's just that this was this lady's role. You know, and like with anyone else, you wouldn't want your work to get stiffed, right? I'm not saying that Jennifer Hale has to abdicate it to her, you know? I'm not arguing that. You know, a job's a job. It's her job now. She, you know, it's totally fine for her to do what she's going to do. But I do see the argument when, like, someone... You ever work on a class project by yourself and none of the other people are giving you any fucking help and you have to do all the work yourself? I could believe that. Because I've had to do that. Right? It's not fair to you. It's not fair that you put your life's work into something and you finally get recognized and then they basically refuse to pay you. I can believe it. Your magnum opus, right? Remember when they stiffed fucking David Hayter out of being Snake? For some one reason or another? I don't know. Maybe he refused to come back. I don't remember. But, like, I feel like most people would not refuse to come back. Here is the lady who voices Bayonetta telling you she would have been happy to come back if they had just paid her decent money. It's a shame that this game has come so far in development, and, like, on the eve of it dropping, they have this, you know? Oh, I missed a whole step. Hold on. Whoops. Fucking ranting about this. Yeah, here we go. And I don't know where these people are fucking defending all these fucking corpos. Like, dude. I sound like a cyberpunk character, but like, dude, they're businesses. At the end of the day, their only goal is to make more money than they had yesterday. Like, do I think that they're slave drivers? No. Unless your name is Disney. But do I believe that they could stiff people out of their money and hard-earned labor? Yeah. And maybe it was a silly decision. Maybe it was something that, you know, they weren't mustache twirling in the fucking boardroom. You know, but maybe they just checked some boxes and were like, yeah, fuck it, just give her this offer, and if she doesn't take it, we'll just throw it to Jennifer Hale, probably for the same amount or whatever. And who knows? I have no proof that they did that, but I could believe, you know, that if you get so many offers, right, you probably are willing to take them for a variety of different costs. You know, I know for a fact that some people, you know, they might take jobs they otherwise wouldn't, but for less, just because, you know, it gets their name out there, it's more work. Something else they could put under their thing. You know, you don't always work for the exact price you're fucking worth, as shitty as that is to say. So, it happens. It's just another thing. It's just another day. But when I looked into that and I saw that thing about, I think it's like Clive Barton or something, whatever Cloud's actor's name is, right? As much as I don't really give a shit about Final Fantasy VII, I think it's overhyped. You know, the guy did a good job in the remake. That's what I would expect Cloud to sound like. You know? So, it's shit. It's really just shitty. It's not like this game company is like scraping the fucking bottom of the barrel either. So, talking about one of the most profitable gaming companies on the market. And I love Nintendo games. I've been playing Nintendo games since I was literally a kid. But I'm not going to sit here and pretend like this is okay or normal or whatever, like decent. And she's just overly greedy or something. That's insanity. Okay, there you go. Not really sure what the fuck that's supposed to be for, but sure. I like that this build is getting so complex. They started putting yellow outlines around all the new pieces. That's pretty funny, actually. Just like the Disco Elysium people just stole, they stole the fucking game from the other dude. You know, I was just talking. I was not watching. Yeah, I talk to myself all the time on streams. You know, just that way there's always some conversation going on. You know, I wouldn't want to sit here in silence. At least if someone watches this back, it's like just a monologue of my thoughts. You know. That's fine. I do this all the time on streams. Trust me, my viewer base is not high enough. I could expect to talk to someone all the time. In fact, most of the time I stream, I'm probably talking to myself. And that's fine. I choose to stream regardless. But yeah, no, like, the fucking Disco Elysium dudes, like, did some hoodwink shit apparently and stole the game from the creator. I didn't really look into it because I didn't really care too much about Disco Elysium. I don't really know much about the game, but apparently that's what they did. I think maybe there were some Twitter ratios involved in that as well. So, it is what it is. You know, I could believe these companies are just scumbags. I can. Right? If you know a scumbag in real life, why can't a company be a scumbag? You know, run by assholes, run by egotists, run by, you know, people who genuinely don't care who they hurt, or just, you know, they just don't give a shit. Right? Anything is possible. What the fuck? This one. Anything is possible, you know? And trust me, if you've ever worked anywhere or done anything, you already know that people are scumbags. Someone is always trying to stiff you out of your work or your time or something, or anything like that, you know? Someone is always trying to fuck you. The question is, do you bend over and take it, or do you fuck back? But, like, do you just take it, or do you just, you know, try to fucking resist? You try to, like, say, you know, fight back a little bit. And I mean, that's the real question. I think a lot of people, everyone knows this, so I just feel like when you're an actual somebody, you know, when there's an internet culture around it, you know, it takes on a different connotation, right? She had to know this was going to start some fiery shit and burn some bridges. I understand it, you know? I understand it. But I think a lot of these people, they're just not getting paid shit, man. They're not. And maybe she might be the one that everyone gets mad at or supports or whatever. But, you know, someone has to do it. Someone always got to be the one to fall on the fucking sword, right? Someone always has to be the one to take the first step and be the blighted one and be the one everybody hates, right? And gets blacklisted. Somebody has to do it, right? But somebody has to do it is my point. Like, it can't... If we just sat around all day waiting for good things to happen, you know, nothing good would ever happen, right? You know how much shit in human history, or just in general, whatever, would just be just one type of way if nobody ever sat up and said anything? Nobody ever sat up and said, no, we're not going to do this. We're going to approach this from a different angle, doing a different thing, right? And that's the truth of it, right? Like, somebody had to do it. Like her, hate her, think she's lying, whatever. I think she didn't have the best, hey, you guys should boycott this, right? She certainly did not phrase that the way that I would have done it. And I think a lot of people would. I would not have even mentioned Jennifer Hale unless she was directly responsible for this and she could have proved it, right? We are ultimately taking one person's word over another's, right? Which is one company over another's. But I could believe it. I don't have proof. She didn't really post proof. Kamiya immediately went into turtle mode on Twitter, which, I mean, whatever that's worth to you, just bear that in mind. He immediately went into, remember, I basically just block people a lot. That's not an omission of guilt, or I'm sorry, that's not an admission of guilt, but neither is it an exoneration, you know? It could be, it could not be, who knows? There we go. What the hell? You know, him because he knows a shitstorm is coming his way. He's been on Twitter long enough. When you're on Twitter long enough, you know when a shitstorm is coming your way. Don't worry, like with anything, Bayonetta is still going to sell, right? Bayonetta 3 is still going to be a big selling game, right? Nobody is going to lose their job or lose their head, you know, which, I mean, ultimately, for better or for worse, is the truth, right? Like, no one's going to die over this game, so it's not like something awful is coming this way. It just is someone discussing it, you know? Someone... just is trying to kickstart the conversation. I think it's a good conversation, right? Even if it didn't come to this, I think that it is generally understood that VAs are not paid shit. We were just talking in my Discord, one of my friends was like, yo, these guys who dub, all these different anime, they don't get paid shit. They get paid pennies, and that's why they have to do so many roles, you know? And I was like, yeah, this is kind of fucked. I could believe that the Japanese don't really pay the dub artists, right? Or whatever company. It could be the companies in the West taking the cut. Who knows? You know, I think there is a real conversation that we need to have about how these people get paid and how much they get paid, right? Because it's cool to pay the big names a whole bunch of money, but, you know, like, you need the small people, right? What are we going to do? Have an entire gaming and anime industry where we have 5 people voice every fucking character? Of course not. Of course the fuck we wouldn't. Right? But if these people are voice actors, they need to be paid enough that they can afford to fucking do it and keep the lights on. You know? How is this any different from any other industry where people are being exploited? It isn't. But apparently when it's video games, you could, when it's video games, apparently anything goes, right? You could just do whatever you want to people who play video games or like them. And that's still like that 90s, 80s mentality that, like, video games are for nerds. And you should, whatever, fuck them, right? And now how many people who used to think that play video games on some degree in their lives? I know a lot of people that used to be like, fuck them. It's weird, and then they all play them now. They all, not all of them, but they're more amenable to it. Why? Because how are you gonna date any dude in America in this year? They all play games, right? On some degree, right? What guy do you know that doesn't play any video games that is not like Amish or something or super religious, right? Who do you know? Who do you know? I genuinely want to know. You think none of these dudes play 2K in their free time or Call of Duty, and let alone getting deeper into other games? Like, you know what I mean? Like, it just is one of those things that evolves. That doesn't mean they play them all the time. But I guarantee you they either got somebody with an Xbox or something like that, you know? That's why gaming is such a big industry, because motherfuckers really be coming in and playing like a couple games at least. That doesn't mean you have a room full of games like me. Problem with the world is it has to be nuked before the world will change. Yeah, something has to blow up before people change shit. And that's wrong. And that's part of the discussion that we should be having as a community. I hate to say community. I hate to do that. But as an actual, specifically about video games or the voice acting shit, something has to fucking happen to somebody before anything ever changes, right? And conversely, it's like people want to just destroy, they want to destroy a lot of shit, right? I think that gaming needed to be gate kept harder, right? Because now look at all the shit you have in here from both inside and out. Remember when every game did an online pass? And after Online Pass, it was, like, expensive-ass DLCs. And then after the DLCs, it was fucking loot boxes. And now after loot boxes, it's Battle Pass. It's a never-ending fucking spiral. I'm tired of it. I'm tired of every game that could be good getting the weird shit put in, right? And then it's, like, not fun. And then they just abandon these games, and then they toss these devs the fuck away, right? Like with Visceral. What the fuck did Visceral do to get eviscerated? They told them to make a shitty co-op game. They made the shitty co-op game, and then they were like, thanks, you're all fired. It's like, what? They made a better Battlefield than DICE had. They made a better fucking horror series than almost anything else out there on the market. And then for their thanks for doing that was to get fired and lose their jobs. Does that sound right to you? That's the shit that bothers me. Something has to blow up. There has to be a fucking Konami and Kojima moment before we all stop and think, damn, these companies are being fucked up to people, right? It just happens that Kojima was just like one of the first big names that we had that happened to, right? We had a scandal that happened. Do you think Konami's reputation ever really recovered from that? You think Metal Gear Survive and Pyramid Head and Dead by Daylight somehow fixed the fucking community fucking distress that they've had? I mean, don't get me wrong. If they came out tomorrow and said, we're making a new Castlevania game, we're making a new whatever, you know, people would love it. But, like, they really did leave a bad taste in people's mouths when they did that shit. You know, pulling PT, if you still have PT. If they could go on your PlayStation and remove PT off of it, they would. They absolutely would. But, unfortunately, fuckers like me are a little bit too quick on the draw. And we don't delete shit. You know, we shouldn't have to get to the drastic step before we do stuff like this. And conversely, like, shit shouldn't have to be abused by people in power to death before someone finally stands up and says, no, this is wrong and we need to stop it. Shouldn't have to wait till they get bored and they decide, oh, it's not worth it, we're just going to move on. Shouldn't have to do that. What the fuck? Oh, it's over here. Really? Really? Hold up. They want me to put it on this little tiny thing. They want me to put this piece. It's a fucking plate. You know, maybe if the companies just paid the fuckers what they're owed, you know, whatever the going rate is, here's a little something, and don't talk to us again, then they would just fucking do it. They wouldn't have these fucking shit shows, man. Right? Like, I would love to agree with Mr. Gotham Knights, dude. Let me check my phone while I'm thinking about it. I would love to agree with Mr. Gotham Knights, man. Right? About, video games being worth more than what they, you know, it was $60 in 2000, and it was $60, you know, $70 up until recently. But it's like, bro, you're trying to defend having only 30 frames per second in your game. You want to charge 70 for this fucking game. Okay? Now you're saying you want $93 to put 60 frames in? Every other fucking game on the PS5 and the 360 or the Series X does 60 frames. You're talking about the bare fucking minimum. Can Xbox remove my digital games? I mean, they could. I don't think they want to open that can of worms. Can a company go into your shit and remove stuff like that? I don't think any company wants to particularly open that can of worms, right? Because if they can update stuff on your console, they can look for stuff and delete it too. That is also possible. Don't get it twisted. Oh, they have a little small version of R2D2 in this too. Don't get it twisted. If they can update your console, they can delete shit off of it. Of course they can. You kidding me? Especially in this modern digital era, of course it's there. Now, will they? I don't know if any company wants to open that can of worms, right? That possible lawsuit waiting to fucking happen, right? Of, well, I downloaded it, it was mine, right? Because just because something's on the terms of service does not mean that it's automatically legal, right? Like like terms of services get G-checked all the time, and conversely, sometimes they don't, right? So like Steam refunds, I think, came about because some guy in Australia wanted his money back, and I think they just settled, and they were like, fuck it, we'll just offer refunds. And that's how the 2-hour Steam refund came into play, right? Like, Steam did not always offer refunds. I think a lot of people forget this because it's been so long. Steam at one time was just like, you bought it, fuck it, that's it. You know? You bought it, tough shit. And then I have to look into this more. But from what I heard, like, apparently some dude in Australia was like, no, fuck it. Let me actually look this up. If I could even find the history of Steam refunds, which is a great... Uh, where can I see my pending shit? Yeah, there's probably a YouTube video somewhere here. It definitely came about, what, like 7 years ago? Yeah, I mean, you do, right? But the license is technically until the service ends. I mean, who knows, right? This is why you have to have lawyers look over, right? I just don't think most people do it until they do it. I really should have Googled how Steam refunds came about. That's what I should have done. I want to actually finish this, so I won't. Like, just because something's in the term of service does not necessarily mean that it's legal, right? Like, a lot of people probably signed completely abusive contracts, right? And then, like even fucking amusement parks could have maybe rides or something, right? If they make you sign waivers, like, if it makes you do something illegal or something, that doesn't mean that oh, well, you signed a contract, you have to do it, right? Like, that also doesn't mean that you're always going to be protected if you break it, right? I don't want to, imply that, but just, like, that's what discovery is. That's what a lot of these court cases are about. And I mean, I'm not suggesting that, as an American, right, everyone's like, oh, you should just sue everybody. Well, just because someone puts it on a document and maybe has their lawyer sign it doesn't necessarily mean that, well, it's just fine, right? Everything's hunky dory, right? Like, there's no fuckery involved here. What the fuck? Where is this piece? What? Where is this? Hello? There's one. But yeah, that's a good point. That's why you should own all of your games. You should physically own your games. That's not a cure-all, right? It's not like a perfect solution. But I mean, like, if you look in the case of PT, right? They just said, we're just going to pull it off a fucking PS4. And if you happen to still have it, we won't even let you play it on the PS5, which was something that they had to directly go to Sony and say, we don't want this. Because by default, I think all PS4 games are PS5 compatible. So what they did was fucked. What they did was fucked up. And I'm glad, he got to go off and do whatever. But it was like, companies do fucked up shit. Because you know why? They're not fucking charities. Even charities are fucked up. They're just trying to return more zeros at the end of the day than they started. That's all. This is nothing too complex. It's not like this is some, wacky conspiracy theory. Like, companies just do shit that's in their best interest. In the same way that people do, right? You wouldn't walk down the street and trust somebody with your fucking car while you walked into a store or something, You wouldn't do that. People take advantage of people all the time. That is like human history, is someone getting taken advantage of. I know it's probably happened to every single person who will ever listen to this video, right? You've probably been taken advantage of by someone you probably thought was trustworthy or just in general. And it's fucked up. It shouldn't happen, but that's just life. You just have to learn to try to minimize that, right? How many stories on the internet you think we got of people getting their advantages taken of them? That was a really weird sentence. That's why I don't like companies like I used to. Like, I respect the work they put out, right? Like, I respect the work Platinum Games puts into their shit, because I think they do a lot of good work, right? Nier Automata is a really fucking good game. It is a really, really, really fucking good game. I mean that sincerely. 1000%. But, really, this is it? I mean that 1000%. It is a fucking masterpiece. But you never know. Like Blizzard makes a lot of good games, right? Well, they did. And BioWare made a lot of good games too. And what do you come to find out? These companies are run by assholes. They're run by people who are abusing their workers. They're complete just narcissists. They believe nothing they do ever is wrong. And then at the end of it all, they don't lose their jobs. They're not the people that get fired and shit canned. Right? EA, Patrick Soderlund and all the higher ups did not lose their jobs when they shit canned Visceral. right? And destroy Dead Space, and they told them make Dead Space 3 a co-op game, and then when people didn't want to play a co-op Dead Space, they were like, well, I guess it sucks to be you, huh? And then they got rid of them, right? Nobody told them to do that besides the fucking boardroom execs. And then they fucking fired all of them for it. Was that fair? Of course not. It was fucked up. It was fucked up what they did. They took a great franchise, could have had a happy the end, right, after all the shit, could have had a nice cheesy ending, or could have just been a definitive end. And now, you know, fast forward a couple years, what other games does EA have to milk? They don't have any. So they have to go back and revive all these fucking franchises. They have no choice. They literally have no choice. They have to go back and revive old franchises. Because I said this on many podcasts years ago. What are they going to do? Kill off all their franchises until they're left with Battlefield, Madden, and MLB or whatever the fuck it is? Right? What are they going to do? They're just going to sit around and make Battlefield games? Well, Battlefield 2042 ain't doing too well. So now what? They have to go back and fucking revive Dead Space. So they can maybe get people to buy a remake of the fucking first game. Which is why I'm not going to buy it new. Fuck that. I'll buy someone else's copy. I'm not buying DLC for this shit or whatever. Like, come on. $60 got me Xenoblade 3, which I'd argue is one of the best games I've played in years. Right? You know, like, I don't have to pine for fucking Dead Space 1. And then, like, the only real major change they even made was that you could do the flying now in the Ishimura. And they made it bigger. That's it. That's your fucking remake, bro. And, like, normally I'm not, like, super opposed to shit like this, right? Like, but I got it, like, I stopped looking at stuff like, wow, I'm really grateful and happy we're getting another Dead Space. Like, I realized it's just poisoned. It's not the same. They took all the people who genuinely gave a fuck about it and threw them out. And I'm very wary of when they do shit like this. Companies, that is. Very wary about shit like this, because that usually is a prelude to it not being the same game. Especially with EA. Who the fuck trusts EA, man? Isn't the CEO of WWF billionaire? Vince McMahon, yeah. And he was off fucking AIDS or something. He was off having sex with people and you know, he had power. What was that one football dude who was like, I could turn the lights on at the stadium and you and I can you can come over and we could fuck in the middle of the field or some shit. These people are nuts, man. They're nuts. They're crazy. That's what happens, dude. You get power and look at the crazy shit that people have you do. Or you have people do for you. Right? Dudes get a little bit of power and then they go nuts a little bit. A lot of it. You know, billionaires. Look at the Blizzard leaks, you know? Look at the shit Bobby Kotick was saying. That's crazy. You and I both know if one of us said some shit like that, we'd be gone at the end of the day. Look at what just happened with that coach on the Boston Celtics? They put him on suspension. They didn't put the woman he was fucking on suspension. It was a consensual relationship. Where's the fairness in that, right? They're not directly, he wasn't her direct underling, right? So there wasn't any, like, implied threat of coercion or anything, you know? Motherfuckers gotta defend the throne, for a very cheesy way of saying it. Oh, you meant the World Wild Federation? Never mind. I take it back, but it also is very applicable. Right? That's I think when he stepped down, all that shit was coming to light. He's like, nah, I gotta go now. Which means he's been doing it a long time. I don't know the World Wild Federation. I don't know what that is. I mean, you could still respect Vince McMahon for being I don't know if I want to say an amazing entrepreneur, but he does have a very big industry, right? Wrestling is big. You know, fake or whatever, wrestling is big. People like to watch their wrestling. I can't even see this. It's fucking dark in here today. Okay, this is so much nicer. People like their fucking wrestling. And that's fine. The Blizzard leaks were just day after day of all this shit coming out. Everything is fucked. I mean, it is what it is. But I told you, like, or not you specifically, I said specifically, like, what is EA going to do? Cancel everything until they're just selling Battlefield? And here we are. We made it. Is this his probe thing? This is R2's probe. They help Wild. Oh yeah. Okay, I remember this from when I used to go to like zoos and shit. I don't know anything about that though. Maybe. You know? It's fucking ridiculous. It's insane. This doesn't really go in at all. What the hell? And then they want me to slide one of these up too. Okay. Like this. I wonder how this raises up. What the hell? I guess later on we'll be... Oh, yep, here it comes. I was about to say, we gotta flip it and put this thing in. Right at the end, so that way I guess it can go up and down. I'm gonna give it a little bit of spare space, and I'm also gonna put one of these things at the end, just so that way I can hopefully not have it fly off at the first time I pull it up. It's not like this is... If you've ever seen R2D2 raise his antenna, right? Like, it comes up way higher than this. But whatever, this is as good as it's gonna probably get. Doesn't really seem that great though. Like, is this supposed to bulge out like this at all times? I have no idea. Anyway, now we're making the base of the skull, or I guess it would be the top of the skull, not the base. New religion crow. Everything is. If there's humans in it, dude, someone is getting screwed, right? Someone is getting screwed everywhere. So the goal of the game is to have it not be you. That's the goal. If you can accomplish that, great. If you can minimize it, even better. But that's the goal of the game. It's to not be the person who's getting screwed over. Okay, good thing I looked at this. I would have done that wrong. Everything kind of just sucks a little bit. No, you can't really do much about it. Oh, you're building a Lego Death Star? No, not yet. That comes later, right? That comes, where the fuck is this? I don't even know where I would put a Death Star, homie. I'm gonna be honest with you. A Lego Death Star, if you've ever seen it, it's fucking huge. I have nowhere to put that. So as much as I'd like to, I know I can't. Or rather, I know I shouldn't. It would just remain unbuilt. There's nowhere for me to put it. I already have to, like, reorganize everything in my room anyway. Wires, fucking other Lego kits, so... I just got a couple in mind that I want to get, and then I'm probably not going to buy a ton after that, because to be fair, like, I'm kind of catching up on like years of Legos anyway, so like it's not like there's a super ton that I'm missing or anything. I know someone who built Lego Hogwarts. I had a Lego Hogwarts set. That's where I got a lot of the like the owls and stuff from. That I still kind of use sometimes to this day, right? Like, it was okay. Like I said, I was never really a big Harry Potter fan. The only reason the game really interests me is because I really like the RPG aspect of it. I think it's definitely a great place, a good world, to have games and stuff take place. You know what I mean? I think that could be a very fascinating game, and with even a reasonably... Oh, a reasonably decent story to it, it could be a real slam dunk. So I'm actually really looking forward to that. We're almost done. It took me a while. This was definitely a long build. I mean, actually, we are on the last box, basically. So this was definitely... Okay. I should have said it's going to take me a couple hours. But to be fair, I've ranted a bit here and there. So it definitely adds up a lot, you know. Nothing wrong with a good old rant, you know. Sometimes it's helpful. Sometimes it's therapeutic to just throw shit out there, you know. Just to fucking scream into the fucking abyss. Alright, there you go. Oh, wait, hold on, let me make sure I'm doing it right. That's a Daft Punk song, right? Doing it right. Everybody will be dancing and be feeling it, right? I forget. I was really into Daft Punk back in 2013. That was like the main thing I was really listening to back then, right? Yeah, this part is definitely like not the best part at all. It's okay. I'm hungry. Okay, so let's finish this because I want to go eat. What the fuck do they want here? This is why I need this, because it's like dark blue and dark blue. I'm not colorblind. It's just dark in my room. I don't have a light like right over, and I don't have any like clip-on like lights I could use or something. So yeah, I wish I could have done my Venator. I had such a fun time building the Venator. That took me a while, but that was definitely a multi-hour build. I don't think I did it all in one sitting, but I was kind of salty because like there was a piece that was missing, and I was like, dude, are you fucking for real? I was like, really? I come this far, and now there's no it's this piece, right? This piece, but in gray, was not included in the kit. So I don't know if I made a mistake. I don't think I did. Like, you know, I'm usually pretty good about this, right? But it was this piece. I got sent this piece instead. Now, as you can see, this piece is a little like wing or something. I don't know, right? But it's not as big as like this, which is like a 4x4 triangle, right? Like a right angle triangle, right? You see how this is like a 4x4? I got sent a 3x3, right? So I have to go order this piece in that color because the one I have in my Venator is white and it stands out. It's not like obviously the end of the world, but it is, you know, you want to... I'm annoyed by it. I'm more annoyed by this. Like, look at this. You have everything else on this thing and then this. Like, honestly, I would have just preferred not having his antenna come up at all. Like, this just seems like kind of clumsy. Like kind of fucked up because it like clips over the side and stuff. It just feels like it's meant to bounce around and be obnoxious. And there's no way to like get it into the head. This could have been better. This is like my least favorite part of the build, right? Is that this piece right here could have been better. Because it doesn't ever come back down. You can't like lock it into... I mean, it looks like it does lock into place maybe, but I don't think it does. This is the worst part of the build. That right there is not great. Listening to Eminem and Scooter. I don't know who Scooter was, but Eminem in the 2000s when I was like becoming a teen, right? When I was like 12 and 13, I remember I had I actually had this. There's a throwback. I had this. This was an iPod Shuffle, right? I don't know how many of you guys remember this, right? Because my other iPod broke. I eventually got a real iPod, right? Like one of those 2008 iPods with the wheel. Remember you used to scroll your thumb around to like go down the list and everything, right? Now everything is touchscreen, so it's different. But I had one of those, and I used to listen to fucking Linkin Park and shit, man. That was a good time. That's why I miss the 2000s were such a good era right? Because it was like the ending of the last era and the beginning of a new one. I am considering using my fucking iPod Shuffle again, though. I mean, like, what else? It still works, so might as well, right? Oh, almost dropped it. Yeah, like, they have this shit in here, like, super tight. So did I do something wrong? Because if you look at it on the thing, it looks like it's in there, like, super tight. Let's see. Can I fit this the fuck in, please? Because it looks like it's supposed to, like, go into here like this. No. I don't know. This part, the fucking, this thing makes me kind of sussed. Because it doesn't feel right no matter what I do. Like, it see how it goes down like this, right? Like, this looks fine, but then when you try to put this on, it doesn't stay. Oh. What the fuck? Oh, I put it on wrong. That's why. Hilarious. Yeah, I guess I looked at the instruction wrong. No, yeah, no wonder. Yeah, okay, this makes a lot more sense, right? Like, see how this makes a lot more sense? Oh, you can't even really see it. Now, I don't know about this stuff over here, but maybe it doesn't matter too much. Right? Because I could have sworn that when they showed me on the instructions that that's not what they wanted me to do. Hold on, let me take a look really quickly. Oh, they want it, okay, they want it on, yeah, they wanted it on the little holes, I see, okay. It's very rare that you actually do that, but that's cool. Alright, I got it, that was my bad, good thing. This is why you check. You just gotta check your work. Always check your work. I've been yelled at so many years to check my work, and now I am finally going to get to do it. It might, like, I know I don't take YouTube too seriously, but I do kind of have to respect the amount of work. Do I remember the CD music? Of course. Yo, when I have a radio that has a CD. I missed that, right? You had CDs. They used to have, like, record label, or not record label, like record tower or something, CD tower, right? It was a different era. You know, and that all those mediums were coming and going at such ridiculous speeds. You know, like, you had it for maybe a couple of years, and then it would be gone, basically. You know? Like, you legitimately would have, so what was it? It was VHS, or not VHS, right? Like, so the era right before me was, like, cassette tapes, right? Like, that was a thing for a while. Then it was CDs in the 90s, I think. Right? And that's when the PS1 started using CDs and shit. Then after that, it was, well, after that, it kind of just went digital, right? You would put your CD in your computer. The DVD, remember the DVD burner drives and shit, and the CD burners would take it out, would, like, take the music out, right? And then you could put it in iTunes. Like, that was the start of, like, digitalization, right? Like, you would, you know, go buy a fucking CD album. You take it home, you put it in your computer, and then you put it on your fucking iPod. Remember that? The iPod is so emblematic of that 2000s era, right? Like, I hated Apple computers. I still don't really like them. But I can't sit here and deny that they had the better music player. They just did, right? Like, you cannot deny the impact on culture the iPod and iTunes had. Because you would go, remember iTunes Library, like, was like the music version of Steam. So over time, you know, gradually, you know, it grew and grew and grew and grew and grew, right? Whereas Steam originally was just a bunch of Valve games and a couple, like, other random games that, like, nobody remembers now, right? Remember the what was it, the Rain Slick Precipice of Night or whatever? Like, I tried looking for that game a while ago and I just couldn't find it. And I was like, huh. So that's just how it goes, huh? You're just gone now. And I remember, like, it was on Steam originally ages ago. And then it was just gone one day. It was just like, I guess they pulled it. They lost the rights. But yeah, I remember that. I remember how it gave way into the iTunes era when they would have movie soundtracks on iTunes and stuff, right? They probably still do it. It's just like something that you just take for granted because they've just been doing it for so long. It's like, well, it makes them probably billions in residual revenue, right? People just, they just want to go out and fucking buy it. They're just like, I heard this song in the new, what was that Black Panther song that everybody liked? Yeah, they probably went out and bought that and shit. Like, yeah. I used to listen to podcasts back in the day on iTunes, right? There used to be a lot of podcasts where people talking about video games and stuff, and I used to listen to a couple of them. And it's a damn shame I don't have any of them anymore because I would love to, listen to some of them. Hell, I would love to just even chat with some of the dudes who did it back in the day. Real trailblazers. People that were willing to put in the time. Making podcasts on iTunes before anybody really did podcasts on YouTube. The era of podcasts, I don't think is at an end, obviously, right? But, like, it was definitely in its infancy back then. You would have people come on and talk about all kinds of stuff. The 360, right? How consoles are becoming more like computers. Obviously, all dialogue. Whoop, got it. Obviously, all dialogue from, what, like, at this point, fucking 15 years ago or some shit. But it was a cool topic of conversation, It was something that was popping. It was kind of cool to be on the forefront of entertainment, right? The forefront of entertainment media. That to me was like one of the best eras to be alive in. Obviously now things kind of suck dick, but it's neither here nor there. There we go. Oh my god. Look at this chonker. Yeah, I didn't fix it, by the way. I don't know if I did something wrong or if it just is naturally like this. I don't know. Whatever. It's not a big deal. This thing looks amazing. You can even turn the head. Pretty cool. Alright, and then lastly, they want me to build the LucasArts 50-year thing. So I'll do that. Right? It's supposed to show like how far, and I built tons of astromechs, right? This is not news to me at all. Remember how the DVD gave way into the fucking Blu-ray? Right? Like, they started having every video on VHS and DVD. Every single ad would have that. I just think that kids today just will never know that feel. You'd see, like, I don't know, or like anything, right? They would just have it at, like, the fucking stores. They would have DVD and Blu-ray coming soon, or like DVD and VHS. And then they would have combined DVD VHS players and shit like that. It was a good era. It was a good time, man. CD drives are now like a thing of the past. This computer I use right now does not have a CD drive natively, which I'm a little salty about, but I bought one, right? If I needed to, I could use one. I have one in my old computer, so I need to kind of get that out. I'm going to rebuild that whole computer. I just need a lot of money to do it. Thinking I'm going to do it next year. I'll save up and I'll fucking rebuild the whole thing. Just going to be like, yo, I want you to keep the CD drive. Everything else is fucking fair game. Just give me a good processor, a good everything. I'm going to try to save up a lot of money for it. Good processor, a new motherboard, new memory sticks, a new GPU, or well, not necessarily new, but something recent. New everything, right? I'm going to put another capture card in that one. Just have it as a backup and maybe use it occasionally, sparingly. Oh, great. It's the fucking sticker laying step. My favorite. This is not going to be fun. Did I miss a step for this? I must have missed a step where I was supposed to use this and these two, right? Oh, yeah, I see. Okay, I see it. So these two, we removed that over there. I see I missed that step. Oh, fuck me. We have to do the astromech thing. So let's see. What does it even say, right? Manufacturer, industrial automaton, model, R2 series astromech droid, primary function, navigation and repair, height 1.09 meters, equipment, holographic projector, spacecraft linkage and control arms, universal and computer interface arm, buzzsaw, third tread, which is retractable, processing indicator color red, right? It's got all the information and stuff from Star Wars, which is kind of cool. There you go. So, I will do my best to put this on. You get to watch me botch this live, because Lord knows I'm terrible at placing the fucking stickers. I really hate that they make you do this. I've never been good at this, ever. Right? So I try to, like... Okay, that wasn't too bad. I think I did a good job. This is definitely the worst part of any modern Star Wars build. It's placing the sticker, right? They always have stickers for these things. It's not perfect, right? I never get like a perfect fit, but as long as it's not like hanging off the edge, right? That's really what I care about, right? Like I just care more that, you know, it's legible. It seems okay, right? Like it's not the worst thing I've ever done, but it's certainly far from the best. I really hate doing that. It's just, it's unnecessary. I really wish they just had it printed, but whatever. They like, I guess, having it be that way, and then they don't give you a backup sticker. So just like if you mess it up, you just get to eat a dick, like actually. There you go. Okay, like so. Alright, after this I'm going to go eat, and then I'm going to go record. I'm going to call GameStop, see if they have that fucking Pokemon giveaway, and then after that it's going to be a pretty lit day. There you go. That's the, this is the little thing that, it just goes in front of it like this, right? So you would show off like, oh, this is what it used to look like, right? And here's the actual, like, full-on build for it. It's pretty nice. It's a good thing. I'll look through it one more time, make sure I didn't miss anything, maybe. So, for instance, like with this, right? Let's hoist them up. Right? Okay. There's a thing back here, right? That's where this piece is supposed to go, which I did not put on. Right? And then there's some, like, little plates that I didn't put on. I'm trying to see, like, where did I not put them on? It had to be from one of these steps, too. So, I guess we could just go back real quick. See what step had two like, little gray flat plates that I just did not put on something, right? Try to look over. Did I not put them on the head? No, I definitely did. I could feel it. Which I can't even get this thing off. Yeah, okay. It's not those. Yeah, there's two gray plates I never used. They're definitely meant to be used. Oh, I found it. They go on these. They go right here. Perfect. I was going to say, it looks a little weird to have these, like, white things, right? There you go. They go right on the little antenna. Well, I would definitely say this is one of the better pieces, one of the better builds for sure. So, I think this thing looks wonderful. Let me move. We got a lot of spare pieces, which is fine, right? This is the only piece I don't know where it goes. And I don't know if I missed it somewhere, but clearly it won't impact the build that much. It doesn't seem like they leave pieces like that out, but I mean, at this point, it's too late for me to go back and do all of it, right? So I'm going to show it as best I can, right? Here's the little plaque that you get with it, and then here's the actual R2D2 astromech droid. It's pretty nice. It's got a lot. My only thing is that the third tread does not come down, unfortunately. It's there, but like there's nothing to really do with it. It also leans perpetually forward, which I'm not really sure why. I don't know. That's probably something. Oh. Apparently I can lock it into place if I jostle it. Yeah. Okay. Apparently it locks into place. I still think I was supposed to put it the other way, but I don't really know without looking more into it. But this is a great build, right? I really liked it. This is really fun, actually, and I'm glad I could, share this experience. This is a very thick guide. It's got a lot of stuff in it, so I'll definitely make sure to keep it. Now I can actually get to my Steam Deck. I'll probably do that tomorrow, though, right? So, all right, very nice. Thank you. Thank you, everybody who stopped by the stream, either today or yesterday or whenever, right? Like, that's really cool of you guys. Yeah, it doesn't really stick very well. Yeah, something ain't too right about it. It's fine that it leans forward, but whatever. This is definitely a really good build if you want it. I definitely recommend it because it's not. This is definitely, like, I would say, like a 9 out of 10. It's got a good amount of detail. It's got cool, like, design elements to it, and I guess I'll move them down here. I won't put them on the floor. I'll put them right here so he can slide off later. I gotta find him a more permanent home. So I will clear off the shelves and I will see what I can do. Because I have a lot of other stuff, right, that I gotta go through, so. Alright. Thank you guys. I appreciate you guys stopping by Froze OBS. Okay. Thank you guys. I appreciate Snowman and Drakion. I appreciate you guys stopping by. And, yeah, big ups to you all. Thank you. It was a good build. I'm gonna go eat, and I'm gonna go do other stuff. Probably will stream again. Maybe I have to see some.